So our 12 powers idea for this month is the power of life. And that is our innate divine power of energy and animation and vitality and presence. It is that thing that makes us alive, and it's that thing that gives us energy to sustain ourselves through our life. And so we pair that today with the third Sunday of Advent, which is love. Love is our true nature. It's the essence of our being, requiring nothing of us other than to be expressed. This is what we are talking about today. So, you know, it was funny, this past week, I just had a random memory come to me. And do you ever have that happen where you think about something that somebody said to you like 30 years ago or longer? In grade 12, my grade 12 of high school, I had a friend who, I don't know why, but he had this particular book that he really loved by Kurt Vonnegut. I don't even remember what the name of the book was, but he said this quote all the time, and it came to me this week, and it's, "What is the purpose of life? It is to be the eyes and ears and conscience of the creator of the universe, you fool." And he would say this over and over and over again, and so I loved that. And so I was thinking this week about that quote, and I was thinking about what is the purpose of life, and if it is, and you know, I feel like I have sort of taken that as, yes, that has kind of been my mantra for my life. So I messaged him on Facebook, actually. He wasn't a friend of mine on Facebook until this past week, but I messaged him to say, I remembered this, and think of how you've impacted my life, that I can still remember that quote now after all of those years. So, you know, that was a lovely thing. Great connection. So I've always had this belief in me that we are here to be the hands and the eyes and the life of the universe. That we are here to be the hands of the Creator in form, right? And so how do we pair this idea of the life that we are, the energy that we are, the impulse of life that we are, along with that idea that we are also here to love and to be loved? And so I wanted to firstly read one of the quotes from the Unity booklet the Advent booklet. It's been a lovely booklet this year that I have so enjoyed. So what she wrote was, and this is Reverend Beatrice Gallerano Bell. In this week of Advent, when we celebrate and focus on the pure and powerful energy of love, I'm reminded that this is the force that holds all of creation together. And that's actually similar to a quote from Charles Fillmore as well. So she's, I think, quoting him in that way, or giving a shout out to him. And she said, "I give to the world my gift of love and unity, of compassion and commitment, of tolerance and acceptance, of forgiveness and kindness. The love that God is radiates in and from the deepest and most sacred part of my soul to bless all life." Isn't that a beautiful way of writing that? Isn't that a beautiful way of saying who we are in this world? We are love. We are the love of the divine. So today my talk is about revealing that divine love, revealing that within us, revealing that within life around us. And I took for my centering thought, there's a couple of things. Firstly, from Matthew, "You are the light of the world. You cannot hide a city. You cannot hide a city that has been built upon a mountain. And they do not light a lamp and set it under a basket, but on a lampstand, and it gives light to all those who are in the house." Now, when he's talking about a city that's built on a hill, that is talking about our higher consciousness. That's talking about when we are in that place of our divine consciousness, that elevated consciousness, when we are on the hill, we are shining our light. We are giving ourselves out into the world, and we have to be seen by the world. We have to be in a place of giving that into the world. So that's our higher consciousness that we're talking about. And then Charles Fillmore, this is a beautifully audacious quote. I love this about Charles Fillmore. Love is that mighty power, that divine quality of God that is expressing through all mankind and cannot be suppressed by any outside force. Any unloving condition of the world is no bar to my exercise of love. In fact, it's an incentive. Mic drop. It's an incentive. If I see something unloving in the world around me, it is my incentive to bring love to that situation. It's mine to do. If I am the eyes and the ears and the conscience of the creator of the universe, you fool. It is mine to do. So how do I exercise that love? What do I do? Well, I've got a quote here from Ernest Holmes that talks a little bit about that. He says, compassion and caring are the ties that bind us together in mutual understanding and in the unified attempt to uncover the divinity in each other. And that's really the key to it, because when we are uncovering the divinity in each other, in ourselves first, and in those around us, we can't help but be in that place of divine love. How could we be anything else? How could we be anything else but loving when what we're seeing in front of us is the glory of God? There's nothing but gratitude in that. There's a story from the Kabbalah. I think I probably tell this one a couple times a year, but it's one of my favorite stories from a spiritual tradition, and the Kabbalah is Jewish mysticism. And the story is of the light and the vessel. And the light was everything. There was only light. There was only this infinite light in the universe. And the light's nature was to give. And because there was nothing else but itself, it had nothing to give to. So it created out of its own self a vessel. So this vessel that was made out of the light was created for the purpose of receiving the light. Now, understand, in Kabbalistic terms, light is another word for love. So think about this light that is all loving, all giving, all it wants to do is give of itself. And so it creates from its own being a vessel that it can give to. And that vessel received and received and received the light. But you know, the thing was, the vessel was also created out of the light. So while it was designed to receive the light, in its nature, it was also part of the givingness of the light. It wanted to give. So at some moment in time, the vessel said, no, wait, no more. I don't want to receive anymore. I want to be giving. I don't want to receive anymore. And so the light itself, just wanting to give whatever it could to this vessel, said, fine, okay, I will withdraw. Now imagine what that moment felt like. Suddenly to be plunged into darkness. The vessel cried out, no, wait, come back. And the light immediately flooded back in, but because that tension between the giving and the receiving had not been resolved within the vessel, that full force of the return of the light shattered the vessel into billions and billions and billions and trillions of pieces. And that became our universe. Kind of sounds like the Big Bang Theory, doesn't it? So that's the story from the Kabbalah. And what the story goes to say is that at some point or another, all of these tiny shards, these tiny pieces of this vessel are going to come together when they learn that they receive for the purpose of giving. So when we as humanity learn that we receive love for the purpose of giving it, that is when humanity becomes one. That is when our universe comes back together and we become one with the source. That's how the Kabbalah understands our creative reason for being being here, our purpose in life. So when we give of ourselves, we reveal that divine light. When we give of ourselves, we reveal that purpose, that loving purpose that we are. We reveal the God that is within us. And at the same time, because we are in that cycle of giving and receiving, we allow the other person to reveal the God within them as they receive the good and the love from us. This is what our purpose is. This is who we are as beings. And this is probably one of the most important things to learn in life. In my opinion, I think that one of the most important things to learn is that we are not separate, that we are one, that we are already one, and it's simply a shift in mind. It's simply a shift in our understanding about what we are here for that brings us together. Because, where the metaphor says we all have to be in that understanding of giving, of receiving for the purpose of giving, that's the metaphor of that story. But really, we are all one, so we are all of it all the time. So when one of us makes that realization that all I'm here for is to receive God's love, to receive the love of Spirit, of Creator, so that I can give it. And I have so much more than I could ever hold, so of course I must give it. I must give it. When we get to that realization, we in ourselves bring together the vessel. We in ourselves bring together the divine purpose of who we are, our oneness with that divine life. Ernest Holmes writes, the unity of good, the coming together of good, is a revelation of the greatest importance. It teaches us that we are one with the whole and with each other. This is the greatest purpose. This is the greatest thing that we can do in our lives. And this is what it means to reveal that divine love. We awaken to our unity, to our oneness with everything. There was a time when I was in a ceremony. It's a cacao ceremony. I don't know if you've ever done a cacao ceremony. It's a Mexican chocolate. They use a raw chocolate and they melt it and they create a drink of it that you drink it and you do meditation with it. And it is a deeply spiritual and deeply sacred ceremony. And so I had the pleasure of being in one of these cacao ceremonies, and after the meditation, someone asked me, so what was your experience of that meditation? And I almost couldn't speak. I almost could not speak, which for me is a lot, I stand up here every week and speak. But for what had happened in that ceremony, in that time of deep meditation, I was lifted out of my body. I was lifted up to the atmosphere of the earth, and then beyond the atmosphere of the earth, just looking down upon this shiny blue globe. And I heard a voice that said, just love them. And then there was another voice that said, just love them. And then there was like 1,000 voices saying, just love them. And then there was it sounded like 1 billion voices just saying, just love them, just love them, just love them, just love them. And my heart was so open that when I came out of that, there was no lack of clarity in me in any way, shape, or form, that my only purpose in being anything at all is to just love them. Just love everything, all of it. Everything that I can see in the earth, everything that I can see in humanity, everything that I can see in all of it needs my love. And to me, this is a call of the highest order. This is the call of my heart and soul. And I know that we all have this call. I know that when I remember, because I forget, of course, we all forget, but when I remember, I know that it fills me and fulfills me in a way that nothing else does. And I know that that's true for all of us, because we are We are collective human beings. We are not separate. We are not meant to be separate. We are designed to be together, to be one. And when we find that little slice of oneness within ourselves, gosh, that just changes everything. That just shifts us into an energy but beyond belief. And it gives us the energy of life that we need to go out into the world and do those good works that we talk about. In our 5 principles, the last principle is it's not enough for me to just know these truths. It's for mine to live them out into the world, to bring them out into the world. That is the lovingness of myself that is coming out, that divine love that is revealed out into the world. And it's the most important thing that we can do. This is what we are here for. This is why we exist. And how beautiful is that? This is a wonderful time of year for us to remind ourselves of this, that we are each the light of the world. That we are each the light of the world, and we don't need to hide that. That we are here to be that always. So let's do our affirmation together, shall we? I am divine love expressing in the world. My highest purpose is to express my true nature, the essence of my being, into the world. And so it is. Amen.